Oh, the sun, the beach, and the sights that are spring training. A slow figuring out transition from winter to the baseball season. Last year was like every other, when every team has a vision of being in the postseason and maybe even an opportunity at the Fall Classic. New faces and names occupied the Phillies clubhouse, but there is never a certainty of what that will lead to or become. The 179-game journey took us from Clearwater to the precipice of a world championship. So, here we are again. The sun, the sights, the beginning of another journey. Welcome back, everybody. Good to be back here at Baycare Ballpark for another spring training in Clearwater, Florida. There's no better place in the Grapefruit League than here in Clearwater. Yeah, the hair is back, and he has been all over the place. And Trey Turner, he has been working hard to get accustomed to his new teammates. What a great addition for the Phillies. Welcome, everybody, to Clearwater, Florida, as spring training baseball is underway today for the Philadelphia Phillies. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. He's been here for 24 hours. He's already got his base tan going. I tell you, this is the most anticipated spring training I think the Phillies have had in quite some time.
Yeah, especially after that historic run last year into the playoffs, all the signings they made in the offseason. It's been a great offseason, and boy, do the Phillies fans have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, there's so much to think about from last season, winning the National League pennant and then carrying it over to the Eagles season and getting to the Super Bowl. Bryce Harper's not here yet, but obviously he left his mark on last year's season.
Superman doing his thing. That's what he does. He always rises to the occasion. There's nothing he can't do. And I'm anxious to see him get back in this lineup, hopefully sooner rather than later with this elbow surgery. But we'll see how it happens this season. But that was one of the biggest hits of his career and one of the biggest hits in franchise history.
Yeah, so that was a big moment for the Philadelphia Phillies. Arguably the best moment for the Phillies happened when they were 22 and 29. And that was the hiring of Rob Thompson as the interim manager. And we asked Rob earlier in spring training if he ever envisioned he would be in this spot.
I probably would have said you're dreaming. Because I was, ever since I came here, I was kind of set in my own ways. And kind of felt like, the whole managing thing probably wasn't going to happen. And I was content with being a bench coach. And I think I've had a successful career because I've been surrounded by great players.
Yeah, not only that, we found out that if he hadn't been named manager, he probably was going to retire at the end of last year. All right, so this is what the offseason was like. In fact, Dave Dombrowski told us yesterday, he goes, yeah, I think we pretty much have checked off everything that we wanted to do this offseason.
He was a man on a mission, and Dave Dombrowski got things done. The Trey Turner edition, I think this Phillies fans are just going to absolutely love what this guy does. He's so dynamic, can beat you in so many ways. I'm also excited about Kimbrel and Soto. I'm excited about everybody, them signing extensions for Alvarado and Dominguez. This has just been a very, very good offseason. You got to compliment the Phillies front office.
All right, well, we get it underway today. It's the first of 13 games that we'll cover during spring training. This was a moment, right? Rangers Suarez getting Austin Nola to pop out to finish off the National League Championship. 2 more games, folks. That's what the Phils need in 2023. It starts off next.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
A man, his tractor, and his family. These are the Upshaws, though he goes by Shaw, which stands for skilled hands at work. Because whether he's cutting hair, mowing grass, moving earth, or even roasting marshmallows, He's got a firm grasp on what matters most. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a John Deere tractor and start telling yours.
Get DirecTV with a 2-year price guarantee.
Well, back here at Clearwater, where we got a sellout. In fact, the berm is packed with people as well. Great to be back for spring training baseball. 2 games this weekend, today and then tomorrow, of course, here at Baycare Ballpark. That's Nick Nelson, who's battling for a roster spot in the bullpen, maybe in the rotation. And speaking of things that are new, this is what you'll see around baseball in different parts behind home plate. To the left and to the right, and also in the outfields around Major League Baseball as well. The pitch timer. They would like it to be called a pitch timer, not a pitch clock, so we will try our best to go along with that. And we saw yesterday that it did make an impact in the first set of spring training games, so we shall see, and we'll try to keep you up to date on the rules that have been implemented this year, which include the new bases, the lack of a shift, all those things that they're trying to speed up the game. So here we go, spring training 2023. Nick Nelson from the stretch. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is in the plate, and the ball is grounded out to shortstop. Edmundo Sosa will throw over to first in time. One away. Let's take a look at the rest of the Yankees lineup. And it's brought to you by Xfinity 10G. Gleyber Torres, Cabrera, Bader DHing, Jake Bauers at first, Wilmer Depot over at third. Dominguez, big-time prospect for the Yankees. He's in center field, Florial, and then Siegler for the Bombers. There's Gleyber Torres. Nick Nelson, a former Yankee pitcher. He did start a few games with the Yankees when he was there. And it's going to be interesting to see the different hitters and how they're going to handle the pitch timer. You can already see Gleyber Torres, he's not even getting out of the box.
No.
1-0 pitch. A bit high, according to the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn. Nelson, 47 games last year. He started 2. 2 balls and no strikes. 3 balls and no strikes.
You're right, not even getting out of the box. He's got to have his head up looking at the pitcher with 8 seconds to go on the pitch timer.
That one's lined out toward left field. Cave comes diving in. He can't get it. It kicks off his glove, and it trickles toward the warning track. And Torres is aboard with a 1-out double.
A humpback liner there. Cave makes a diving stab at it, not able to come up with it. Torres with a double. Got to appreciate that effort there, Tom.
Yep.
You'll see that top spin there. Cave just not able to get to it.
All right, so now Cabrera, last year, 247 with 6 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Played in 44 games with the Yankees. At a pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. The thought is just 1 inning for Nick Nelson today. Yesterday, Zach Wheeler threw live BP, and he threw 2 innings. He was into the 30s with his pitch count. Nick is one of the names that Rob Thompson and Caleb Cotham have talked about who are going to be in the running for one of the spots in the rotation. But even beyond that, they've talked about at certain times using a 6-man rotation. Not consistently, but at times. Runner breaks off. Nelson breaks off the mound, and his throw to second is a one-hopper that Sosa is able to handle.
I don't know where Torres was going.
Well, the bags are bigger this year, Ben.
Yes,
so he
they
might
are.
think that he's going to be able to steal a bag.
3 inches bigger.
And they have seen in minor league baseball that there is an increase in stolen bases. And safety is also one of the reasons why they've gone to these larger bags, too. 2 balls and no strikes. That one's hit back toward the screen. It's 2-1.
Thought that had a chance to come in here.
Well, it would have if the net wasn't there.
There you see those bigger bags. 18 square inches.
Yeah, the distance between second base and third base, and first and second too, is decreased by 4.5 inches. It's now 3-1 as Nelson, not a shocker, having a little trouble with his command early on in this spring game. Harrison Bader waits on deck. Outside, ball 4. So runners on first and second with 1 man down. And it brings Bader. So this is the differences between the bases from last year to this year. So the distance between home plate and first and home plate and third is reduced by 3 inches. And we mentioned the distance between first and second and third is reduced by 4.5. So the standard bag last year was 15. And now it's 18. And if you put them next to each other like this, it's pretty noticeable.
Yeah.
But it's flatter, too.
A little bit.
And that's part of where they think the safety will be. Major League Baseball has said, and we've been on a number of seminars and watched a lot of videos, that injuries were down in the minor leagues. Bader sends that one out to center field. Marsh is coming on. Now there are 2 outs here in the first.
Number 60, Jake Bowers.
And now Jake Bowers will be the batter for the Yankees. Were you surprised yesterday about the difference in game times?
Yes.
Those games?
I mean, that is considerable.
The 2 games were, I think it was 229 and 231, or in that vicinity.
Correct. And that is drastic. That is a drastic change.
Yeah, and the average time last year was over 3 hours. The average minor league time was under 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's going to make a difference.
Bowers hasn't played in the big leagues since 2021. That's when he was with Cleveland and Seattle. Takes on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. First base will be manned by Anthony Rizzo for the Yankees this year. One of their re-signings. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike.
The athletic move there by Stubbsy. He did such an outstanding job last year backing up JT.
He will be leaving in the World Baseball Classic to play for Team Israel. Phillies have added a couple other catchers to their spring training roster. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good breaking pitch.
That's a nice slider.
Yeah, we mentioned that Nelson is going to be battling for a roster spot, but also for maybe a rotation spot, which is odd since he only started a couple of games last year for the Phillies, was basically a reliever. 2-2. Ball's fouled back to the screen. It remains 2-2. But in some ways, the rotation has most of the foundation already in place.
Yeah.
It'll just depend on who's going to be the number 5 starter. And on the backfields today, Andrew Painter threw another, what would you call it, a sim game?
Yeah, through 2 innings. I went and saw him. It's legit. It is legit.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a call, strike 3. On the inside corner. No runs, 1 hit. 2 dead lefts. On to the bottom of the first. Phillies coming up for the first time against the Yankees.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Watch this baby sail. Oh, Bryce Harper. White Sox win! Get DirecTV with a 2-year price guarantee.
There's Aaron Boone. Talked to him yesterday. Got a little lowdown on the pitchers that came over from Tampa for him today. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup, brought to you by Xfinity 10G Network. The future starts now. Brandon Marsh will lead it off, and he will be the leadoff hitter for the Phillies this year. And he steps in and rips the first pitch into left field, a base hit. So a leadoff single.
I'd say he was ready to hit.
Yes. He has been beyond fun in this spring so far.
A lot of energy.
I mean, yes, on the field, he's working hard with Paco Figueroa, who's with the team, the split squad team in Lakeland. He's working hard with him in the outfield, but he's just been all over the place.
See him hop in the box right there.
Yeah.
They ran to the plate.
Alec Bohm swings at the first pitch, lifts it out to right field. Florial has it, and 1 away. Ryan Weber is the starting pitcher for the Yankees. Clearwater product. He was originally drafted by the Phillies out of high school, but did not sign. I feel like he's pitched here every year that we've done games. He's been in the big leagues with the Braves, the Mariners, the Rays, the Red Sox, the Brewers, and 5 games last year with the Yankees. Had a 0.84 ERA. Those are his numbers in AAA. Here's Derek Hall, and yes, he is wearing a new number. Wearing 24. He said, I was trying to get as close to 25 as I could because Matt Strahm wanted number 25, so we gave it to him. I said, well, what number did you wear all the time in the minor leagues? And he said, I got a different number everywhere I went.
Some guys, it just doesn't matter.
Said when he went back to Lehigh Valley last year, I think he wore 23 prior. They gave him 44 because they gave out 23 while he was up in the big leagues. 1-2. One just missed. It's 2-2. Derek told some great stories about the pitch timer. With Chuck watching. Larry Boa. Runner goes. Pitch line foul. So he had the pitch timer down in AAA at Lehigh Valley, and he said he likes it a lot. He said when he came up to the big leagues, there was an occasion in Chicago where he was facing Marcus Stroman. So he walked up to the plate. He said hi to the umpire, hi to the catcher, stepped in, was ready to go, and Stroman was just walking behind the mound, just walking around, rubbing the baseball up. So he got out. And then Stroman walked toward the top of the mound. So Derek Hall got back in. And he looked up, and Stroman's throwing the rosin bag up and down. It was a called strike 3. Now there are 2 outs, and Edmundo Sosa's coming up. He said, so then he stepped out again. He said that's when it dawned on him that the game is so different in the big leagues than it is in the minors. He said, so then I dug in. He was finally ready. He goes, any quick pitch me, got me out.
There's one.
Yeah. So
that's one move to first base.
Called a disengagement.
Correct.
Edmundo Sosa last year really helped the Phils coming over from the Cardinals.
He was great.
He was great.
Great in the playoffs. It's like another guy that just really adds a lot of energy.
The 1 pitch on the inside corner, 0-2. He was also great as a teammate for a lot of the guys, too. We had a golf outing the other day, and he was one of the funnier ones because he had never picked up a golf club, but was on a team that won enough for him to get himself his first putter. And he gets his first hit of spring training as he lines it into left center field. That moves Marsh over to third, and the Phillies have first and third with 2 men down.
That was a rocket. Good base running by Marsh to get to third base. Just stays on this breaking ball, shoots it back up the box. And this ball's scolded.
So now Garrett Stubbs with runners at first and third. Got a first pitch fastball in there for strike. Stubbs had 5 homers last year, 16 runs batted in. He had 264. Ball gets away for a moment. Sosa's going to go to second. It'll be a wild pitch. Marsh will stay at third. Home plate size has not increased.
Still 17 inches.
That's right. One aspect that has had a change around baseball is where the outfield grass is. As Stubbs hits one back toward the middle. Kiner Falefa is there, and he throws him out. We'll get into that a little bit as the day goes on. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. Scoreless here in Clearwater. We're through 1. Yankees and the Phillies up to the top of the second.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Celebrate the success of the 2022 Phillies on McDonald's opening night, Saturday, April 8th at 4:05 versus the Reds. Fans 15 and older will receive a 2022 National League Champions t-shirt. Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets and receive this popular giveaway. Frenchie's Tiki Bar is all ready to go. They've got some great new food options here at the ballpark, and they've also brought down some of the favorites from Citizens Bank Park, including Clear Vodka and Hers potato chips are now being sold here at the yard. There's James MacArthur. He's a big dude. 6'7". Last year he had a record of 2-6 and a 5.05 ERA in Double-A. Former 12th round pick out of Ole Miss. Facing Wilmer Defoe. That fastball at 95, so his fastball will range between 93 and 97 miles an hour. He also has a changeup, a curve, and a slider. Fly ball to right center field. It's fairly deep. Wilson is out there, and he makes the catch, just getting away from Brandon Marsh. He actually made that look pretty easy at the end.
He did. Weston Wilson chasing down this baseball, and Marsh was there just in case Wilson didn't get there, but hit to go. That ball really carried. You can see the flags blowing out to right field. That's an excellent play by the Phillies right fielder.
Yeah, Weston Wilson is a 28-year-old former 17th round pick out of Clemson by the Milwaukee Brewers, who the Phillies signed as a minor league free agent this past offseason. Played last year in the Brewers organization. Here's Jason Dominguez. If you were at all a baseball fan and are a minor league baseball fan, you would know who this kid is. I mean, he's a big prospect in the Yankees organization. Because he's a big kid. He's got power. 16 home runs, 59 runs batted in a season ago. Ground ball over to first, backhanded nicely by Derek Hall, who would be the power forward in the center for this team, because MacArthur would be the center. Garrett Stubbs would be the point guard. He'd have to
That's
be.
right.
Derek moving pretty good over there.
Yeah, taking a little jab step here, going to one knee. Makes a good feed on to MacArthur.
Here's Esteban Florial. Can you sense a difference in the pace so far?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can. It feels like it's just moving.
Yeah. It feels like it's moving, but it doesn't feel rushed.
No. Now, part of it could be that we have guys, not Nick Nelson necessarily, but others like Ryan Weber and James MacArthur that are kind of used to it to a certain extent. That ball's ripped and caught by Josh Harrison. Yes, he's got it over at second base. And the side is retired. Pretty comfortable inning for James MacArthur. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Harrison will lead it off.
The wait is over here at Sioka Chevrolet of Atlantic.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Here's some of the comparisons that we alluded to before, Ben. Minor league data, 9-inning game. In 2022, the games took 2 hours and 38 minutes. In 2021, the games took 3 hours and 3 minutes. I think what's important, though, is look at the numbers below it. Nothing really changed in the game except for the game time. You know, the runs per game were the same. Batting average was generally the same. I think that's why Major League Baseball thought this was going to be appropriate.
Yeah, and obviously I think it's going to work, and I think it's going to be a lot more fan-friendly, viewer-friendly.
Randy Vasquez is the new pitcher for the Yankees. Going into last year, the 12th best pitching prospect in the Yankees organization, facing Josh Harrison. Could be an under-the-radar pickup for the Phillies, who had him a couple years ago, but there was just too much on the roster at the time. See Vasquez's numbers with Somerset last year. Fly ball to right field. L'Oreal venturing back. The wind's carrying it.
Jeez.
How do you think the wind carried it today in batting practice?
Well, you saw Harrison take a timeout there. He was already going to be allowed the one timeout. If he calls another one, a strike would be against him. Strike would be called against him.
And a lot of minor leaguers have said that they usually hold the timeout until they have 2 strikes against them, because that's the time that they sit back and have to think about some things. Here's Jake Cave, a new addition to the Phillies, who could play any of the outfield positions. In left field today.
But talking with Caleb Gotham today, I think it's going to help out some of the pitchers that maybe think a little bit too much. They're almost like, okay, there's a sign, let's go. And it's almost like they take that mental side of it out of the game.
Down the left field line, that's going to drop in for a hit. Cabrera gets to it quickly and then gets the throw in. That holds Cave to a single.
As Caleb said, he thinks it'll be a net gain for the pitchers in the fact that they just have to get it and throw it. They're going to take the kind of that thinking aspect out of it. Get the sign from JT or off the pitch comm, and let's go. And have conviction in each and every pitch.
Weston Wilson, last year with the Brewers organization, hit 11 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Rolls that one foul. Mentioned he played at Clemson. Played 3 seasons with Clemson before he was drafted by the Brewers. We met yesterday with Sam Fold and Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski. Talked about some of the folks the Phillies picked up this offseason, and Weston Wilson was one of those guys. And Sam said that the impact of the crowds at Citizens Bank Park in the postseason and the electricity carried over to free agency for some of the guys that they acquired that are on the big league roster, and some guys that they signed as minor league free agents like Weston Wilson. So they could feel it through the television.
It was remarkable.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Dan Iasonia said he went around.
But you could. I mean, obviously you could feel it too. But when you were there, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was just different.
I just thought the place was going to fall down. That's how loud it was.
2-2. Vasquez signed as a 19-year-old by the Yankees for $10,000. Pretty good investment considering he's touching 98 miles an hour. Grounded foul. There's some that think, scout-wise, that he could potentially be in the back end of the rotation down the road. Although his strikeout rate did dip last year from 30% to 24%. Pretty drastic difference.
Yeah.
Well, you see the life right there. The way it sunk down.
Pretty effortless. He's got a pretty big lead out there at first. Vasquez took notice.
Fly ball left field, pretty well hit. Cabrera's going back toward the wall. Gone! A home run for Weston Wilson. A 2-run homer, and the Phillies jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Hits a slider down in the zone. Boy, does he stay in his legs, and hits through this baseball, drives it out to left field. 2-0 good guys. This is a perfect example of getting to it and hitting through it. Able to backspin the baseball right on out of here. Watch how he stays down and through this baseball. Gets that foot down on time. Look at that extension.
Leverage. Vimael Machine is the batter. All right, so 2-0 Phillies here in the second. Whacked foul, and it's 1-1. One time through the order now for the Phils. Machine last year 220 with the A's, a home run, 13 runs batted in. See the clock winding down.
Oh.
Think shoulder or face?
I don't know.
I think shoulder.
I hope it's shoulder. It hit his face. He really shook that one off.
Yeah, I think it hit his shoulder. Another one hit foul.
Is that 4 in a row?
It's
right in the same spot.
Yankees won 99 games last year, lost to the Astros in the American League Championship Series. 2-2. Aaron Boone had the American League MVP and Aaron Judge. No big deal.
That was well deserved, huh?
Yeah. Got him a 9-year contract in this offseason. Also, that 9-year contract produces longevity and the moniker of being the captain of the Yankees now.
What an honor.
2-2. 3-2. That may have been the closest that anybody got down to 0 on the clock. As Machine pulls into first base with a single. And back to the top for Brandon Marsh. Talked about the crowds and the impact it had. Rob Thompson talked about what folks around baseball told him about the crowds.
After the World Series was over, I was talking to a coach on another club that we had played in the World Series. And we were talking about the playoffs and how it went. And he said, I'll tell you one thing. He said, our players couldn't concentrate. They couldn't think straight. He said, between the way your players played and the atmosphere of the fans in the ballpark, he said it was truly 4 hours of hell coming into CBP.
I was on a couple of different dinner tours with Rob, and he told that story, and it was a great reaction from the crowd. You'll hear more of Rob Thompson's interview, full interview, as the spring moves on at NBC.
Well, you know what the great fan base we have and how they really can make an impact on a ball game.
Yeah. 1 ball and no strikes to Marsh. Over to third, past the diving Defoe into left field. Marsh is 2 for 2.
Batting 1,000. Well, I like the fact that he went to the left side of the diamond on both those knocks. Try and pull this pitch. I guarantee it's a rollover to second base. Guarantee. Just lets it get a little bit deeper and shoots it to left field. It's 4 hits in a row.
Yeah, the Phils have something going here. Runners at first and second.
Alec was first pitch swinging his first at bat. See what he does here.
Yeah, flat out to right field in his first at bat last inning. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
You look out there and you see the non-shift. Well, it's pretty normal for Alec Bohm. I think teams realize that this guy will hit the ball all over the yard. Can't shift him.
Line drive, base hit to left field. They're going to hold Machine at third. The Phillies will have the bases loaded with 1 out.
You think they're seeing Vasquez pretty good?
Yeah, they're getting some really good swings.
Oh, my goodness.
Alex Mauricio is warming up in the bullpen for the Yankees, as Derek Hall will be the hitter. Derek struck out his first time up. I think we may have a pitching change here. Yep, there's the signal. So the Yankees will make a change. They don't want the youngster to throw too many pitches in his first outing of this spring. So Mauricio will come on. Phillies are threatening with the bases loaded and 1 man down. Here at the bottom of the second, they've already scored 2 on the home run by Weston Wilson. We'll be back right after this.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Corey Seidman gives us the latest on Bryce Harper's rehab and sits down for a one-on-one with new reliever Craig Kimbrell. That more on the latest Philly Talk podcast. Subscribe and listen all season long. We watched Craig Kimbrell throw batting practice yesterday, and he still has his stuff. He's one of those, you know how he used to have that arm dangling on the L? He was still doing it yesterday, but not to the extent that he used to do it. Chris Wheeler's back in town, Mr. Spring Training, fresh off his visit to see Frankie Valli last night. 88-year-old Frankie Valli, who said he still doesn't miss a beat.
Still doing it.
Derek Hall, swing and a miss. Wheels was at Tim McCarver's services this past week, and he said it was a wonderful tribute to the late Tim McCarver, who obviously played for the Phillies, broadcast for the Phillies, has such a huge impact on so many folks in the world of baseball. first as a player and then being able to translate it into the booth. One ball and one strike. Alex Mauricio entering this year as a 26-year-old right-hander who was 4-0 a season ago in High A in Hudson Valley. 1-2 to Derek Hall. 2-2. Machine over third. Marsh at second. And Bohm at first. Swing and a miss. Derek Hall down on strikes. Junior Marte warming up in the bullpen for the Phils. And Edmundo Sosa is coming up. In there for strike.
The Phils have 7 hits in 1 2/3. Pretty good.
Sure is.
Good, solid approach.
Sosa singled his first time up, went to second base. That's where he was stranded. Just a bit outside.
97. That's pretty free and easy as well.
Yeah, it is.
Defense been on the field a long time this inning.
Swing and a miss at a high heater. 96 miles an hour. So a couple strikeouts for Mauricio. Gets the Yankees out of the jam, but the Phillies had already struck a 2-run home run by Weston Wilson. First one of the spring. Giving the Phillies a 2-0 lead. They already have 7 hits as we go to the third.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
We haven't really seen these restrictions in these first couple innings. We probably will down the road more and more, but the depth restrictions for the shift. Now, the infielder must have both feet in front of the outer boundary of grass when the pitcher begins his delivery. So the outfield grass boundary has to be standard now. It never used to be standard. They wanted it to be 95 feet, but there's some places that it wasn't 95 feet, like Cincinnati. Now it is. And there's radar technology that they use to make sure that, A, it's 95 feet, and that the infielders have both feet on the infield dirt. Now, we may see an outfielder at some point go in and play short right center field like the second baseman used to, and then the second baseman move over a little bit with certain hitters. Junior Marte is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Marte was acquired from the San Francisco Giants for Eric Miller. He's another big guy. Anthony Siegler is the batter. You see his numbers in the minor leagues. 0-1. So there's some latitude right now, at least it seems like there is, because Josh Harrison is having a conversation with Vic Carapazza, the second base umpire, and both his feet are on the outfield grass. Now, he does eventually step on the infield dirt.
When the pitch is thrown.
When the pitch is thrown. He does get there.
Maybe he's just testing the waters.
He wouldn't be the first one.
See him take a step up here.
And there he goes. Outside, 2-2.
That ball is at 99 and moving like a wiffle ball. Man, that is close.
I like it, though. He's trying to figure it out now. Just like Siegler was trying to figure out that pitch from Marte. Now there's one away here in the third.
I'm going to say he wasn't real sure of himself there, Tom.
I would agree with that. Kiner Falefa grounded out to shortstop his first time up, and it's 1-0. Marte was originally signed out of the Dominican Republic by the Kansas City Royals. The other day when he was throwing on this field, as he gets a grounder out to shortstop, Sosa takes care of it. He was at 98 miles an hour, which is not totally a surprise because last year with the Giants, his fastball averaged 97.8, which was in the 95th percentile among pitchers.
Well, you look at the velocity, that's great, but how about that movement? I mean, you tell me how that last ball that was just hit the shortstop. How are you going to elevate that ball or lift that ball? There's no chance you can do it.
Gleyber Torres doubled his first time up, lifts that one to right field. Pretty well hit. Wilson's going back toward the wall. Well, he elevated that one, Ben.
Yeah, that one, when it's
gone. Gleyber Torres, a solo home run. The Yankees are on the board. It's a 2-1 game.
When he started up in the zone, it just doesn't have that same life. Torres not trying to do a whole lot with it. Gets in that wind stream out to right.
Yeah, the indication right away was Weston Wilson barely moving.
Let's see where that is. I mean, you talk about belt high, and when you throw sinkers up there, they just don't move.
Yeah, 24 home runs last year for Torres, and he gets his first one of the spring this year. Here's Cabrera. That one's out to right center field. He got that toward the end of the bat. And Brandon Marsh is waiting, makes the catch. Side is retired. Yankees, though, do get a home run by Torres, who's 2 for 2. He's got them on the board. It's 2-1 Phillies as we go to the bottom of the third.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Along with Ben Davis, I'm Tom McCarthy. Dave Dombrowski, Sam Fuld are watching today's festivities, along with a lot of other scouts. Garrett Stubbs leads it off against Randy Vasquez, who's back out there after going a third and allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. Shallow center field. Dominguez. Now there's 1 out. Josh Harrison due up.
Second baseman, Josh Harrison.
Flight out to right field his first time up. Rob's scheduled to join us a little later on.
Nice.
Yep. He's going to do TV and then he'll do radio.
Guy does it all.
He does.
He does it all.
His energy is remarkable. Always has been.
His humility is remarkable.
Remarkable. Harrison shoots one down the right field line. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. And he's going to get to second base. A little high step it into the second base bag. So 1 out double here in the third.
That's some quality hitting there. Simple approach. You're not going to find a shorter swing. It's like prime time going down the field there, huh?
Well, Jake Cave singled his first time up and came around to score in the home run by Weston Wilson. Fouled back, and it's 0-1. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Cave.
That's now 6 hits in 2/3 of an inning against Vasquez. That's something.
Well, we mentioned that they're hoping to make him, have him be a starter, so that's probably why he comes back out here in this spot. All right, so that's 1 timeout called by Jake Cave. Right, it was Jake that called it, right? It wasn't the pitcher that stepped off. So the pitch timer is at 20 seconds when there's a base runner, 15 when there's not a base runner. 1-2. The part of it that I was wondering if they'll even adjust it is what you just saw Vasquez do, Ben. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outside 2-2. So he's at the foot of the mound. He makes the catch there. And then depending on how, see, they changed it. Previously, they hadn't started the clock until he was on top of the mound. So he got it on the grass and then walked. And then they started the 20-second clock.
Well, Caleb Cotham is trying to get the Phillies pitchers to not do what Vasquez is doing.
Right.
He said stay on the mound, catch the ball either just in front of the rubber or on top. And then you don't have to waste all those extra seconds walking back, getting the sign, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so previously there were 2 occasions where he caught it. They didn't start the clock when he caught it, the throw from the catcher. 3-2. Whacked off the foot of Jake Cave. So here is the requirements for the pitcher as far as the pitch timer goes. Pitcher must begin natural delivery of the ball before the timer reaches 0. The windup, the clock stops when the pitcher steps back or laterally. In the set position, the clock stops or starts when the pitcher lifts his leg after holding set. Swing and a miss. 2 outs here in the third. And here's Weston Wilson. The most popular nights at Citizens Bank Park return for 2023. Bring your appetite for 3 Hatfield Phillies Frank's Dollar Dog Nights. Tuesday, April 11th, 6:40 versus the Marlins. Then Tuesday the 25th against the Mariners. And then Tuesday the 9th of May against the Blue Jays. Secure your seats today by going to Phillies.com. To read the promos a little quicker.
Yeah. No doubt.
2-1 Phillies on the Weston Wilson home run his last time up against Randy Vasquez, who was in, then out, and then back in again. High strike, and it's 1-2. That's the next thing that's going to be talked about is the automated strike zone, which we won't see this year, of course. But it is going to be implemented in the minor league fields around the country. 2-2. Fanatic made the trip.
Yeah, he did.
I was with them yesterday at the press conference introducing all the new foods and all the new merchandise from Diamond Outfitters. Harrison's going to go to third. This is what they displayed yesterday. They have Phillies t-shirt jerseys, regular jerseys, great apparel at Diamond Outfitters. Those are some of the new eats that are here at the ballpark. They've got a smoker and some barbecue.
Nice.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Wilson. Outside, ball 4. So first and second with 2 men down. And Aaron Boone is going to go out to get him.
Wow.
And I think he's going to bring back Mauricio. Yes, here comes Mauricio.
Makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect spring training sense. So it's officially a full inning for Velasquez, and he's allowed 6 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. So we've got a pitching change. Pitcher came in from the dugout. We'll be back after this.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Festival of Baseball is back. Catch all the excitement of the 2023 World Baseball Classic beginning March 8th. Get your tickets today at theworldbaseballclassic.com. Phillies will have guys heading toward Phoenix, where they will train. Mauricio is back in. He's facing Machine. So the theory is, talking to Kyle Schwarber yesterday, they'll go to Phoenix because of the dome. They're going to go where the Diamondbacks play because they're playing in the dome in Miami. 1 ball and no strikes to Machine, who singled his first time up. Now, the World Baseball Classic will not have any of these new rules.
No.
It'll be back to the way it normally is. I would think that eventually the WBC will adopt these rules.
It's a great honor for these players to be able to have that USA across their chest.
You had it at one point,
I
right?
did. It is it's an honor and just a privilege. These guys get a lot out of it.
It is showtime.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Machine. Goes to third. Swing and a miss. The inning is over. Machine picks up 3 strikeouts in his outing today. Give him a full inning and 3 Ks. We'll head to the 4th. Phillies up 2-1.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Time now for our Citizen Stats Leaders, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, so total players in camp 65, non-roster invitees 24, remaining for the World Series roster 18. You know, there were some tough decisions that had to be made this past offseason by Dave Dombrowski and Sam Fold and the rest of the guys in charge. In particular, Gene Segura, because they knew that Bryson Stott would move over to second base, and Matt Vierling and Nick Maton being traded to Detroit, where they're playing today against the Phillies in a split squad game. And Dave said yesterday, he said, you know, it leaves a void in center field for a backup and for an extra outfielder, but we just felt like we could fill that, and getting Gregory Soto was just too much to pass up.
Absolutely.
He also acknowledged that what they brought to the clubhouse, they had to consider that too, because those two guys were a huge part of the culture last year that continues to be spectacular, by the way.
Yes. Also Zach Eflin going to the Rays.
Zach Eflin, of course, getting a very nice contract for himself.
Biggest one in Rays history. Hard to believe.
Yeah, we hope that he has great success.
We wish him well. He's such a great guy, good teammate. He'll be missed here in Philly.
No balls and 2 strikes to Harrison Bader, who flied out to center field his first time up, facing Lewis Head. Veteran relief pitcher who at one point thought maybe his career was over. He was selling solar panels in Arizona after being let go a couple years ago by the Seattle Mariners. So then the Rays called him and offered him a contract to start 2021 and an invitation to spring training. and he thought it was one of his buddies pranking him. 2-2 is popped up. Outside first. Derek Hall says he has it. One away.
That would not be a very nice friend to do something like that.
But we all have friends that would do it.
Oh, we have them. Some we even work with.
Phillies are hoping, though, that year in 2021 when he was with the Rays, Lewis Head went 2-0 with a 2.31 ERA. So they're hoping that they can get that. Last year he worked through a shoulder impingement. Which just sounds annoying.
Yes.
Jake Bauer struck out his first time up for the Yankees. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul tip. Well, maybe not. Maybe it was just a check swing.
It sounded like it.
Richard Bauer's playing first base, and Anthony Rizzo will man that this year. That one's floating out to left field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Now they got to get to it to make sure that they hold him to 1. But he's on his way to second. Cave's throw on 1 hop, and he is out at second base. Big base and all. He's still out at second. That's a heck of a play by Jake Cave. 2 outs here in the 4th.
He who hesitates is lost. Bauer's going around first base. Doesn't come to a complete stop, but he thinks, you know what, I can make it. Jake Cave says, no, you can't. A little lawn dart here to left field.
Wilmer Defoe takes low. And again, our replays are going to have to be quicker this year, too. One and one.
So you're going to have to take my word for it. He did hesitate going around first base.
This is a good throw, though.
It is a great throw. Now Harrison stays with that tag.
One ball, 1 strike to Defoe.
It is showtime.
That one's out to shallow center field. Marsh, he started in, but he's got plenty of time. Nice inning by Lewis Head. Phillies pitchers have done a solid job so far. 1 run through 4. We'll head to the home 4th. Phillies up 2-1.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Join the Phillies family as a season ticket holder for the upcoming season. Packages start at $262 per seat with as little as 13 games and include the following benefits: postseason access, flexible season ticket exchange, and donation program. Visit Phillies.com/season to learn more and purchase a plan today. Brandon Marsh will lead it off. This will be his third at bat. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, Phillies up 2-0. Along with Ben Davis, I'm Tom McCarthy. Our first of 13 games this spring that we'll have televised. Ben will do the first few, and then Ruben will be here. And then hopefully see Johnny later on this spring. Marsh is 2 for 2. And then Greg Weissert, Fordham product, is the new pitcher for the Yankees. Drafted in the 18th round out of Fordham, which is just a few miles away from Yankee Stadium. Grew up a Mets fan. But in 2008, when the Phillies passed the Mets in September again and went on to win the World Series, he decided he couldn't take it anymore. So he became a Brewers fan.
Makes sense.
Which didn't really work out well either, but so his family were all Mets fans. In fact, during his draft day party, when the Yankees selected him, his dad did wear a Yankees hat, but he wore it backwards. Pitches inside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Marsh. Did your dad wear a Padres hat when you were drafted?
I believe he did.
Yeah.
I believe he did.
Three balls and 1 strike to Marsh. Top of the order for the Phillies. And outside ball 4.
I really don't remember. It was so long ago.
And now Alec Bohm.
It was great seeing. I came down last night on the plane. I mean, the whole plane was wearing Phillies stuff. The whole plane.
It's great.
It was unbelievable.
Well, they had an option today. They could have come here, which obviously most did, or they could have gone to Lakeland. It was a split squad today. Bohm takes outside. It's 1-0. Tigers are leading the Phils 1-0 in the 6th. Wow, 1-0 in the 6th already. Well, I guess the pitch clock's working. Pitch timer's working there. I think the issue here is some of the young Yankee pitchers are just having a little trouble with their command.
Yeah.
2 balls, no strikes to Bohm. And a toss over. That's 1.
That's 1.
I think that's our first pickoff attempt.
No, there was one earlier.
There was one earlier, yeah. There he goes. Pitch foul back. It's 2-1.
It's a good rip.
Do you think that there will be less throws over to first, or will they utilize the 3 that they can throw over? I mean, definitively the 2. Maybe the 3rd one they won't, because then they have to get them.
Correct. I just think they're going to have to pick and choose of what they want to do and how they want to attack it. I think you're going to see some more picks from the catcher to keep the guys close. And how about today? Andrew Painter finished with his live batting practice, right? Through 2 innings, up and down. You know what he finished with? Pitch outs.
Really? They were doing that yesterday.
A pitch out to each side.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw a pitch out in a real game? It's been forever.
One sweeps in for strike 3 and 2. They were doing that yesterday. Zach Wheeler threw on the field yesterday, as we mentioned, and so did Craig Kimbrell and a couple other guys. You think that's going to be utilized more?
I think it'll not a whole lot more, but I think some.
Ground ball to shortstop. That might be 2. Bobbled for a moment, and it will be 2. 6-4-3 double play. I think there's some unknown, obviously, with all of this. We were having a conversation today in the office. Kevin Stocker, who we would obviously like to welcome aboard as one of the Phil's radio broadcasters full-time. Great to have Kevin here. There was a first and third situation with a disengagement where the runner would take off to first, and then the runner from home would from third would come to the plate. And what would happen if the runner going from first to second got back to the first base bag? Because generally that's a balk now.
Correct.
But we found out from Major League Baseball that the play at the plate, if he's out, supersedes whether the runner goes back to first.
Correct.
But even that, I mean, that's kind of interesting.
There's a lot going on.
A
lot of moving parts.
The ball's in 1 strike to Derek Hall, who has struck out a couple times. Low.
But these are going to be circumstances that don't happen all the time.
One and two. But they will come across from time to time, and you have to be ready to understand it. The umpires have to be ready for it. They have all kinds of new equipment that they have on now.
Kinds of battery packs on their belts.
Right. Swing at a foul tip. Derek Hall is down on strikes. Third time today. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We'll head to the fifth. It's 2-1. Phillies on top.
It is showtime!
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Them off, separate them from the pocket, and get that puck back.
It's only the second time that's happened in 18 games.
They have an opportunity here to come in and take a spot.
Before the puck drops, watch Flyers pregame live, presented by AAA.
All right, so this is what a disengagement is. A pitcher may disengage 2 times per plate appearance. Third time, as you see here, disengagement is a balk if the runner returns safely to the original bases. So you really have to be confident in your pickoff move if you do it a third time. Pitch timer resets following a disengagement. Now, the base is empty. Pitcher may step off, but pitch timer continues to run. Again, we'll show you these as time, as the season moves on, just to kind of update you a little bit. There's Jason Dominguez for the Yankees. 20 years old from the Dominican Republic. He's a switch hitter. That one's hit well. They call him a Martian, and that one's going to Mars. That's a pretty good pop. Ben Bowden is greeted with a solo home run that's tied this game up at 2 here in the 5th inning.
Talk about ambushing someone. He's sitting dead red, and he got a heater. He didn't miss it. He knew it was gone, too.
Originally signed a deal for $5.1 million back in 2019. Finished last year in AA, so he's not too far off, they don't think.
It's like he spent a little time, just a little time in the weight room this offseason. My goodness.
Here's Florial, who lined out to a leaping Josh Harrison his first time up.
$5.1 million?
$5.1 million.
Good for him.
Yeah. Fly ball left center field. Garrett Whitley's now in center field, and he's making the call. The catch. So one away, and Anthony Siegler's coming up. Take a look around the infield. That's the only change for the Phillies is Whitley in center field. Well, and Ben Bowden out of the mound. Bowden pitched for 3 organizations last year in AAA. Originally made his major league debut back in 2021. He was 3-2 with the Rockies. Red Sox fan growing up, and he said he idolized Pedro Martinez, and he throws so different than Pedro Martinez.
Yeah. Someone asked me the other day, who was the toughest you ever faced? I said Pedro.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
Even more so than Randy Johnson, huh?
Yeah, Randy's number 2, but I got to see Randy a little bit more. Numbers still weren't good, but Pedro, it was just, the ball just looked different coming. It looked like a golf ball coming in. Obviously, Randy as well, but the things that he could do with a baseball. Pedro, sink it, cut it, the changeup was lethal. Bugs Bunny. Unbelievable.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Marsh joins us down in the dugout as his afternoon is done. Brandon, how did it feel to get back out there, buddy?
It felt great, man. Yeah, just getting the first game jitters out the way. Just letting ourselves know that we can still do this thing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a hot one though.
It's hot, yeah.
Oh yeah.
2 for 2 with a walk. You've seen it pretty good.
Hey, yeah. You know, we're just out here having fun. You know, just trying to get some good pitches to hit. Seeing where we are in the box, out in the outfield. And, yeah, you know, we had some fun today. We got a tie ball game. We got to finish this thing out.
You know, we've been talking, obviously, a lot about the pitch timer and everything. It is noticeable. I mean, is it for you, too?
Oh, yeah. The first at bat, I went up there, and there was like 10 seconds, and I got to be in the box at 8 looking at him, ready to go. So I sprinted and did a little statue pose up there. But it's definitely speeding the game up. Game's going by pretty quick. Had a lot of people left on base on both sides, so game's moving pretty quick. We like the pace of it. We just gotta condition a little bit, get better in shape.
Yeah.
Who do you think it's going to affect more, the hitters or the pitchers?
I think it's going to affect the pitchers and catchers the most, to be honest. You know, just less amount of shakes, less amount of pickoffs, you know, all that stuff. So, less amount of pickoffs depending on who you are. But yeah, it's gonna be a big difference. But you know, we're gonna adapt and try to have some fun with it.
No balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch fouled away. Brandon, we've been trying to get it across to fans, and I think they noticed it last year, just how great a clubhouse this is, and was, but continues to be. Can you kind of put it into words a little bit on how good it is to be in this clubhouse?
Yeah, you know, it goes from the top down. It goes from the leaders of this clubhouse, the leaders of this squad, you know, to Harp, Schwarber, Reese, JT, all those vets, Castellanos, you know, I'm leaving some out. But it starts with them, and they pour into us young guys, and we follow them. You know, they take it head on, and we just like to follow suit. So all credit goes out to the vets.
1-2, the pitch upstairs.
Brandon, do you notice any difference in running the bases because of the size of the bases?
You know what? Yeah, the first at bat, I was when I touched first base, I realized it was a little flatter, and I knew that just doing some base running days prior, but it is a bit different. But I feel like the bases shouldn't be a big issue.
Yeah. And Rob was telling us that they had sent you guys some stuff just to get you sort of acclimated. As Connor Falefa lines that one to deep left field, and it is off the base of the wall. Cave plays it well and gets it into third. The runners in second and third. How about his arm?
Hey, that man can play. That man made the fastest spin, rotate, throw to second base against the line as a left-handed thrower. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And we got plays getting made in right center field on the wall. It's been a day out there.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, well, you had that one with Weston. He closed pretty good on that.
Yeah, for a big dog, that dude can run, and I'm going to get the heck out of his way every time. Most definitely.
Well, here's Gleyber Torres. Torres homered his last time up. It's a 2-2 game. Yankees have runners at second and third. Brandon Marsh's been nice enough to join us.
Brandon, how did the offseason, obviously considerably shorter, how much did that affect your routine and preparing for the spring training?
I kind of, I was really worried about that going into the offseason, just the quick turnaround. But I just had a little less time off. I went home, spent some time with some family, some friends, and got back out to Arizona and started training around Thanksgiving time, just like every year. So it was pretty much the same once the work got going, but it was just a little less fun time.
Did you have a chance to spend time in the offseason? As that one's floated out to short left, Sosa's there and he makes the catch. No infield fly rule was called. Did you have time to spend with Kevin Long or communicate with Kevin Long about what they wanted you to do going into this year?
Most definitely, yeah. So I was fortunate enough to live near Kevin in the off season. So we got to put some good work in. Talked a lot, just trying to fix all the flaws and just trying to be as perfect as we can. We know it's going to be impossible to be perfect, but we're going to try our best to be. So it's just fixing all the flaws and trying to strengthen our strengths and and always having fun with K Long, man. He's the best, man. He's awesome. He's always in a great mood. Energy's always up, and I feel like that helps our hitting sessions a lot.
Ben was on it. He was Ben's hitting coach at one point. He's got some things to say, doesn't he?
He's awesome.
It's tough to beat that. Get there.
Sosa just barely didn't get there. 2 runs a score. Probably a single or 2-run single.
It's tough to beat K Long's energy, man. It's and just his care and his pride and his work. And it really pours into his players, and it's special.
That's a lot coming from you because you have the most energy I've ever seen.
Hey.
Any technical changes you wanted to make from an offensive standpoint?
Just without getting too much in depth. Just trying to stay in the zone as long as we can. Give ourselves an opportunity on any pitch and any part of the plate. And just being dumb enough up there, not thinking too much, letting the body and the brain work the way it's trained and supposed to, and just going out there and having some fun with it.
Well, Brandon, we appreciate it, my friend, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again down the road. Hey, nice job getting that pillow to that fan too.
Hey, you know what? We do what we can. We got to reciprocate the love. They come out and support us all year. We got to show some love back, so it's the least we can do.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. All right,
Thanks, Brandon.
Y'all have a good one. Huh?
Yep, Brandon Marsh joining us here at Baycare Ballpark. As the Phillies are now down 4-2, and Harrison Bader will be the hitter for the Yankees. By the way, nice job by Osvaldo Cabrera to put one in play. Just barely got past the outstretched Mundo Sosa to score 2. Bader's flied out to center. He's popped out to first. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, that's kind of the ideal situation for Marshy, huh? He's able to hit with your big league hitting coach in the same area you live.
Mike Adams warming up at the pen for the Phillies. 2-1. Yeah, and he's going to play against righties and lefties. At least going to be given the opportunity to play against righties and lefties. A little low, and it's 3-1. This may be Bowden's last hitter. Although he's got the lefty on deck in Bowers. Ground ball over to third, backhanded by Bohm. Got across the diamond, and the inning is over. But the Yankees do take the lead. They get 3. 2-run single by Cabrera. It's 4-2. Yankees on top.
I wish that Shaq was my real life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Inning. The new pitcher is Tyler Danish. And Max Bird is the new third baseman. Trey Sweeney is the new shortstop. And the new second baseman is Ben Cowles. That's it, though.
That's it.
But Edmundo Sosa will lead things off against Danish. Weissert went 1 inning, walked 1, struck out 1. Sosa's 1 for 2. He singled his first time up, and he struck out his last time to the plate. Danish is a 28-year-old. He has played in the big leagues before. He's been with the White Sox and the Red Sox. Formerly a second-round pick by the White Sox out of Durant High School in Plant City. Ooh. Well, that got him. And Sosa will go to first.
You think Hammy?
I'm hoping Hammy. He's going to be out of the game anyway.
Yeah.
Eric Brito is going to come and pitch run for him. Edmundo, the other day in the golf outing, he had never played golf before. But he was on one of the teams that won, as we mentioned before. And he got his first ever putter. That was his prize for being on one of the winning teams.
What kind of putter?
That's a good question, Ben. I saw it from a distance. I did ask him for it, but he was going to keep it. But I didn't see what the putter it was. But I did understand he didn't have to pay for it.
Apparently, there were some low scores in that tournament. Fransky said that his group came in 11 under and they finished 4th.
Yeah, so we were 10 under. Or 9 under. We finished just out of the running. At one point, there were 8 groups that were, or 7 groups that were tied. No balls, 1 strike to Stubbs, who's grounded out and he's flied out. It's that one foul out of play, and it's 0-2.
Scott also said that Trey Turner hit a 275-yard 2-iron onto the green and made like a 25-footer for eagle.
Well, Cal Cotham, I understand, hit some pretty good ones too. Oh, 2 to Stubbs. And it's 1-2. There's a team that could have used your services out there that day.
Probably.
He could have just said thank you.
I do love that course.
Hit foul, and it remains 1-2. There's Larry to the right, Scott to the left. Stocker's been looming in the background somewhere. Murph was laying on the floor before. I don't know what he was doing.
What did Larry's shirt say? American made, crabby by nature.
Yes. He was very proud of it.
Yes, he was.
Stubbs is down on strikes, so 1 out here in the 5th. There's Larry. Hey, Larry. I randomly just sent Larry text messages during the offseason saying, hi, Larry.
He's been down here for a while.
Yeah, since January.
Yeah. Can't blame him.
Josh Harrison will be the batter. He flied out to right. He doubled his last time up. Takes a breaking ball outside. Give you a little lowdown on the right-hander, the veteran right-hander for the Yankees, Tyler Danish, 28 years old. We mentioned originally a second-round draft pick. He first started in the minor leagues in 2013 as an 18-year-old, and now 27. Made his major league debut with the White Sox back in 2016. Played for the White Sox, the Mariners, played some independent ball in the Atlantic League and the American Association with the Canaries. And then went to the Angels and the Red Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harrison fouls it away. It's 1-2. Up and in, 2-2.
Split squad game. They're in the top of the 7th in Lakeland.
Yeah, I think they probably have less issues with command than today's pitchers have, which I don't think it's surprising that there's been command issues.
Not when it's February 25th.
Strike 3 called. Back-to-back Ks. And here is Jake Cave. Cave singled and scored his first time up and then struck out. Takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. He was a guy that Dave Dombrowski mentioned yesterday as, possibly if they need an extra center fielder, he could play center field. Mentioned that he has major league experience. And by the way, disengagement. So he threw 1 time over with the previous batter, and then it resets when the next hitter comes in. That one's smoked it to right field. It's going to go to the wall. Brito running well, heading to third. Dusty will hold him. The throw goes to second, and Cave has 2 hits today. He'll be second and third with 2 men down.
Somehow able to stay on his feet. Rumbling, stumbling, fumbling around first. Does manage to get into second base. He's having himself a day.
Yeah.
This ball is scolded, as you said. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Helmet goes flying. He's going to need a shower later.
I would think so. Wilson takes in 1 ball, no strikes. That one's out toward left field. That's going to bring home a couple of runs. And that's going to go past Cabrera as it hits something. It'll wind up being a 2-run double. And we're tied up at 4. 4 RBIs for Weston Wilson.
We'll drive them all in.
Nice way to make a debut.
Yeah, he gets jammed a little bit, but dumps in left field. He just overruns it. Bottom line.
Now Machine. By the way, these last 2 doubles, the one by Cave, the one by Weston Wilson, it's kind of tuckered out Connor Sheridan, who's one of the 2 bat boys today. He's getting a swig of water as we speak. Ground ball right side. Backhanded by Cowles. And he throws out Machine. There they are. The Sheridan boys. That's Connor. He's 10. He and Dylan are the bat boys today. They're going to sleep well tonight. Phillies and the Yanks tied up at 4.
Check it out.
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out the General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. The Phillies got off to a 2-0 start thanks to the home run by Weston Wilson. Wilson also has a 2-run double that has tied this game up at 4. Gleyber Torres double and a home run for the Yankees. Osvaldo Cabrera a 2-run single. So we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Baycare Ballpark. The Phillies and the Yankees are all tied up at 4, 8 runs on 16 hits combined. And Francisco Morales is the new pitcher for the Phillies. He's warming up. And Garrett Stubbs' day is done. So he's been nice enough to join us in the dugout. Garrett, was it good to get back out there today?
It was fun, man. It's always good to compete. Even when we were doing lives in the backfields, it just feels good to get up there and face somebody and get back to playing ball.
A lot of good arms in the Phillies camp. Some big guys. Is it a little tough getting accustomed to some of these guys?
Yeah, well, everyone's got good stuff. So as a catcher, when you're facing guys or catching guys with elite stuff, it takes some getting used to. Of just where they're going to miss and what their stuff's going to do. I mean, we already know the guys that are in the big leagues, but we got guys coming up here pretty soon. They're going to make a big impact.
Who did you catch yesterday? Did you catch some of Wheeler and some of Kimbrel?
I faced Wheeler and I caught Kimbrel.
That's right.
I got the luxury of facing Zach Wheeler, and then I caught Kimbrel, who looked really good. We'll probably see him here pretty soon.
I thought he looked pretty good too. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. How did you think that Zach looked?
Zach looked great. I think he was scared of me. He walked me on 5 pitches. So, big body like me, I get it. But he's got electric stuff. His heater, I think, touched 99 at one point yesterday. It just seems like pitchers coming into camp are always a little bit ahead of hitters. And guys are throwing 95 plus. It's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. You're leaving for the WBC. How excited are you to be part of that?
It's going to be a lot of fun. Going down to Lone Depot Park with Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican, us, and Nicaragua.
Juggernauts.
It's going to be a lot of really good baseball being played down there. So it'll be fun. Puerto Rico and Dominican are just across the water there, so I'm expecting a big crowd to show for them.
Jason Dominguez, the batter.
During the break, we were talking about the new first baseman for the Phillies, Carlos De La Cruz, who stands at 6'8". We're going over kind of like the basketball, who would be center, and someone on this broadcast said that you would be the point guard. You okay with that?
I'm good with that. I don't know about my shooting, but I think I could run around some big men for a little bit.
Garrett, I said that because of your decision-making ability also.
Yeah, okay, there. The 6 inches between the ears.
I wasn't even, exactly. I wasn't thinking about anything else but your decision-making.
I like it. I'll command the plays and give the ball to the guy that can shoot.
We talked to Brandon about this and just Rob Thompson a little bit, too. Explain what this clubhouse atmosphere has been like.
It's the best, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, it is as good as it gets in any clubhouse across the league, and I would put money on it. It's so much fun coming in here every day and actually being with guys who you like to spend time with. You don't get to choose your teammates, but Dave Dombrowski and the rest of the front office have done a great job of bringing in really good people Josh Harrison, a new addition. It just feels like day one he's already in here and feels good around the clubhouse. And those are the kind of personalities that we like, and we want everyone to be themselves because that's how you get the best player. So it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, everyone saw it last year, and we plan on doing it this year too.
Did you think you'd be a DJ?
It's the best way to access,
I've done it
and
plenty
share
of
your
parties,
tickets with friends and family to any MLB game.
And those parties were pretty
it's
fun.
It's your personal companion for when you're at the ballpark.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen, thanks for coming on with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Garrett Stubb joining us here in the sixth inning. Francisco Morales did an excellent job. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth. Be back right after this.
Download the free MLB Ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today.
What's up, little bro? Turns out some wishes do come true. And it turns out that General is a quality insurance company that's been saving people money for nearly 60 years. For a great low rate and nearly 60 years of quality coverage, go with the General.
Watch this baby sail. Oh, Bryce Harper. White Sox win!
Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Pennsylvanians are scratching their way to fun thanks to Pennsylvania Lottery scratch-offs. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. So we go to the bottom of the sixth inning along with Ben Davis. I'm Tom McCarthy. We thank Garrett Stubbs for joining us. And we're hoping to get Rob Thompson in just a little bit as well. And the new pitcher for the Yankees is left-hander Nick Ramirez. And he will face Garrett Whitley, who's batting for the first time. Whitley is batting in Brandon Marsh's spot. Got a first pitch in there for strike. It's 0-1. Changeup. That's a pretty good pitch. He did not swing at it, according to the first base umpire, DJ Rayburn. Phillies are making some changes as this inning goes on. Wendell Rijo is in the on-deck circle. Garrett Whitley is a former first-round pick from the Tampa Bay Rays. He was the 13th pick overall in 2015. Last year in AAA and AA. He had 220 with 10 home runs, and he's down on strikes. So one out here in the sixth inning. And here comes Rio.
That was a nasty changeup.
It really was.
77.8 miles an hour.
Well, that one just missed. Fouled back by Rio. I will say that, you can see a noticeable difference even with the younger players getting in and out of the box and on the mound. Rio takes on the inside corner. Wendell Rio is 27 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. And last year, at a couple of different levels, he had 263 in the Phillies organization.
You know, you talk about him getting right back in the box, and you go look at some hitters that have a certain routine, like a Bryce Harper. Very methodical in what he does, and how that, I mean, this is really going to affect these guys, I think.
Yeah, they talked about that a little bit yesterday. They think that it's, you know, because the music that's played in the background is probably going to start a little earlier. Dan Baker or Chris Wheeler are going to have to be a little quicker or start their announcements a little earlier. Here is Carlos De La Cruz, 6'8", first baseman.
It is showtime.
Bounces that one back toward the middle. And Cowles has it. And the inning is over. 4-3 on the putout. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in their half of the sixth. We're on to the seventh. 4-4 game.
Bryce Harper. White Sox win!
I wish that Shaq was my real-life big brother.
What's up, little bro?
The official MLB ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage, and share your tickets with friends and family to any MLB game.
60 years of quality
It's your
coverage.
personal companion for when you're at the ballpark, helping you with
College students and recent graduates, you're invited to go behind the scenes in the business of baseball with the Phillies #College Series, sponsored by Temple University's Fox School of Business. And tomorrow, Scott and Ben will be wearing, I believe, one of the new red shirts that we picked up. And then just to kind of lay the land out, on Tuesday, we'll wear, it's a light orange.
Peach. I think it's more.
I don't know if it's peach. Is it peach?
I think so. Tangerine.
Just so you guys know. So you can, if you like anything that we're wearing, this is from Columbia. It's a beautiful shirt. You love these shirts.
I like it because it's SPF.
Right.
Stay away from the sun.
It's hard to do that down here, big boy.
Very true.
But yeah, Diamond Outfitters, they always have great stuff, just as they do at the New Era Team Store in Philadelphia. Andrew Baker is the new pitcher for the Phillies. You want to talk about being high on somebody? Phillies are very high on this young man. He's another tall drink of water. Was a catcher until he was 18 years old. And that's because when he was 11 and he was pitching, he was hit with a line drive in the side of the head that caused him to go deaf in one ear. So decided to then just catch. So he was a catcher until he was 18. He went to junior college, and that's when he started pitching again. So you're seeing basically a fresh arm. And the count is 1-2 to Everson Pereira.
I'd say that 98 suggests a fresh arm.
Yeah, the Phillies took him in the 11th round a couple years ago. Swing and a miss. So he's got 102, right? But then he throws that, which is his best pitch, the curveball. I mean, that's nasty.
Well, you got to respect the obviously 98 to 100, and then he drops Uncle Charlie on you. You got no chance.
So all these arms the Phillies have, and obviously we talked about Painter and how good he is, Mick Abel, Griff McGarry. There's others, including this young man who may not be too far away. Preston Mattingly, who really has done a great job with the Phillies farm system, said that sometimes there's command issues with Andrew in past years, but he had such good stuff that he can overcome it because you have to get ready for 102.
Right.
No balls and 2 strikes. And a check swing. Did he go? No.
He does have a lot going on in that delivery. I know he's just out of the stretch, but
outside.
Take a look at this delivery here. A funky arm action.
Yeah.
But man, he creates some leverage, doesn't he?
Low ball 3, 3-2. Top of the 7th inning, we're tied up at 4. The Yankees and the Phillies, game 1 of spring training. Swing and a miss. Yeah, that'll play. Yeah, that'll bring Trey Sweeney up to the plate.
I mean, the break on that is just incredible.
Yeah. Well, here's Sweeney, who was a first-round pick out of Eastern Illinois in 2021. Yankees have some pretty good prospects. Last year in Hudson Valley and Somerset, he hit .240 with 16 home runs. Now, he's a shortstop by trade, but they've got a lot of shortstops, including their #1 prospect, Anthony Volpe. He's the #5 prospect overall in Major League Baseball. He's 21, and he appeared in 22 games last year as basically a 20-year-old in AAA. And plus, they also have Kiner Falefa, Osvaldo Peraza. Slider?
Curveball.
That was a curve, huh?
But
because he has a slider too.
He does. It acts more like a cutter. But I mean, you're seeing 100, and then you're seeing an 83-mile-an-hour curveball. I mean, that's drastic. Make a play.
Yeah, popped up on the infield. De La Cruz is under it, and he makes the catch. Innings over. 1, 2, 3. Go the Yankees. Time to stretch here at Baycare Ballpark. 4-4 game.
The official MLB Ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage, and share your tickets with friends and family to any MLB game. It's your personal companion for when you're at the ballpark, helping you with venue info, dining options, exclusive club offers, and so much more. And it's a great way to capture your visit by adding photos and memories from a fun-filled day at the game. Download the free MLB Ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today.
The only weather forecast you can count on. NBC 10 First Alert Weather, the most accurate weather team 8 years in a row. Know what's headed your way before it hits. On air and on the free NBC 10 app. Count on it. Understand they're getting some little snow back home. Temperatures dropped just a little bit over the last 24 hours or so. For you folks that are coming down here for spring training, we can't wait to see you, obviously. It's a great place to be, as you can see by all the pictures. Not trying to rub it in or anything like that, but it is a great place to be. And we always tell folks when they ask about spring training, if you can work it out to get down here, it is an experience.
Great atmosphere.
And the people that run the ballpark, from John Timberlake to Doug Kemp to Jason Adams, everybody, they're just outstanding. So are the folks that are in the concession stands. Eric Brito is the batter, facing DJ Snelton. Snelton out of the Tampa Bay Rays organization, a non-roster invitee, who was originally with the Giants. 2 balls and 1 strike. Back in 2013, he was selected in the 9th round. He has pitched in 4 games in his big league career. A little funky delivery, huh? Would you have thrived at all, bothered at all by the pitch timer? What that you're seeing now?
It wouldn't have affected me.
Because you were ready to go.
Yeah.
What about catching? Would it have affected you?
No, because I was always trying to think ahead, 2 pitches ahead, 3 pitches ahead anyway. Obviously, that would change if I see a swing that obviously made the light bulb go off.
Right.
I didn't have to adjust my batting gloves. I didn't wear them.
What if you had to get dirt?
Yeah,
that would be okay, right?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Inside to Vito Freesia, who's now catching for the Phillies. Phillies had to bring in a couple extra catchers because JT's going to the World Baseball Classic, and so is Garrett Stubbs. Freesia's out of Hofstra. Phillies took him in the 40th round back in 2019. Inside, and then ball 4. Hey, kids, opening day is just around the corner. It's Saturday, April 22nd at 4:05 when the Phillies take on the Rockies. Children 14 and under will receive a Phillies knit hat featuring the NL Championship logo. Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today. That ball gets away. And it's going to allow Freesia to go up to second base. Lee has turned into a very good prospect for the Phillies. You just saw his numbers. He's not only started to hit, but he's also been able to field all the time. That's always been the case. But he's now 20 years old. Last year he had 14 stolen bases to go along with the 9 home runs and 53 runs batted in. He's from Taiwan. The Phillies giving him an opportunity here to be one of the extra men for this spring training game. There's a lot of guys that are part of that today.
Especially with that split squad.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that went to Lakeland also. What's going on in that one?
It is 2-2.
Okay.
Although it still says top of the 7th. I don't know. It can't be the top of the 7th still.
I think it's raining up there. Another walk, so back-to-back walks. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your Philadelphia area local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com.
It still says 2-2.
7th inning.
Top of the 7th.
Pitch is high to Rincones. Rincones, 21 years old, 3rd round pick out of Florida Atlantic. That one is a mile high out of play.
Well, you look at all the games here in Florida. I mean, relatively speaking, they all have the same pace. We got bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 7th, top of the 7th, bottom of the 7th, top of the 7th, bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 7th. I mean, that's pretty standard across the board.
I don't know if people were surprised, though, yesterday. 229, I think it was, or 231. Because I thought what's happening today would happen around baseball where it would be extended a little bit more because of command.
Right.
You know, DJ Snelton right now, he's scuffling with his command. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and miss, 2-2. Ethan Wilson is out on deck for the Phillies. Little tapper right in front of the plate. And they get the runner at first. And the runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. 1-3 on the putout. It brings Ethan Wilson to the plate. Ethan Wilson, a former 2nd round pick by the Phils. Last year, 235 with 8 home runs and 48 runs batted in. 2nd round pick in 2021 out of South Alabama. I think the organization felt like he made some really good strides last year. And really showed it on the base paths. He's a big kid. He stole 25 bags last year.
Wow.
Previous year, where when he was at South Alabama the previous year, he stole 34 bases. He's got a chance to give the Phillies the lead here at the bottom of the 7th inning. The thought is that he'll start in Double-A. That's where he finished last year. And maybe make it up to Triple-A at some point. That was 98 miles an hour, that last pitch.
It can't be a very comfortable at bat if you're lefty.
No. And then you throw him that 1-2, which is kind of a hanger. But one ball, 2 strikes. Oh, man, that cannot feel good. Second batter that's been hit today for the Phils. It'll load the bases up. Cody Roberts coming up.
Where does this get him? I don't know if that got the elbow guard or not.
Looks like it went right above it, right?
Right above it. He played it off well, though.
Cody Roberts, 26 years old, a former 11th round pick by the Orioles out of North Carolina. Snelton drops that one in. Last year he had 271 with 8 home runs and 42 runs batted in Double-A and in Triple-A. Bowie and Norfolk.
Don't you have to say Norfolk?
Yeah, you do.
Which I never understood. Sounds like it should be a town in like Massachusetts or something.
That is true. It does sound that way. Because there's somebody up and warming. I can't imagine he's going to see more than this hitter. 2-1.
25 pitches.
And now 3-1. And ball four. That'll force it a run. Phils take the lead. And they're going to make a pitching change. 5-4 Phillies on top after the bases loaded walk. Pitching change. Phillies still have him loaded. Yankees will go to a right-hander when we come back. Well, the final out of the National League Championship Series. Austin Nola pops out to Nick Castellanos, and the Phillies are on their way to the World Series. And we'd like you to join us at Citizens Bank Park as we honor and celebrate the 2022 National League champion Phils with a special pregame ceremony. It's Sunday, April 9th, 105 versus the Reds. Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today. Can't wait for that day. You know, the Phillies, and the mantra is 2 more wins.
Yep.
You know, it's great that they won the National League Championship. You always celebrate championships, no matter what they are. But they have talked about 2 more wins. Garrett Whitley's up for the second time, and he fouls the first pitch back from Leonardo Pestana, 24-year-old from Venezuela. An ERA over 7 in his minor league career. Whitley struck out in the last inning. They throw behind the runner, and a good throw would have got him. Instead, it goes off the glove of the first baseman and allows the Phils to add another run. As Lee crosses the plate. What a good throw would have had him easily.
Possibly, and you're saying, what's he well did spring training, always time to work on something. That's obviously not the best time to pick someone off during the regular season. I don't know if he would have gotten him or not.
Yeah, I thought if the throw was in the line, he would have gotten him. And Chaparro, I thought he could have had that, but it just went off his glove. One ball, 2 strikes.
Spring training, good time to try something. Why not?
Two and two. Ground ball out to shortstop. He thought about going to second, but then realized that there was no longer a runner at first. And he goes across the diamond in time. Phillies get a couple runs to take the lead as we go to the 8th at 6-4 Phils.
The official MLB Ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage, and share your tickets with friends and family to any MLB game. It's your personal companion for when you're at the ballpark, helping you with venue info, dining options, exclusive club offers, and so much more. And it's a great way to capture your visit by adding photos and memories from a fun-filled day at the game. Download the free MLB Ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today.
Phillies are on top 6-4 as we go to the top of the 8th inning here at Baycare Ballpark, game 1 of our spring training schedule. And Rob Thompson joins us down behind the net near the on-deck circle.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
What's your thought on the way this game's flowing as far as the pitch timer goes?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, it seems like it's quick. And I think both teams really have adjusted well to the pitch clock.
Yep.
We haven't had any violations, so that's good. And we just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah.
Talking with Caleb Cotham this morning, Topper, it just seems like he's got these guys so well prepared for anything that could happen with regards to the timer.
Yeah, Caleb thinks about all that stuff all the time and coming up with different ideas and different drills to do to get rid of ball, to throw a ball out if you're running out of time, or go ahead and use a disengagement if you feel rushed and you feel like you can't execute a pitch. And it's okay.
Well, this is Trey Cobb, who the Phillies picked up from the New York Mets, who's in the game. Tom's, by the way, Trey Cobb's grandfather played for the Phillies in 1974.
Wow.
And in fact, I threw his name out at Larry Boa. I said, hey, do you remember Frank Lindsay? And without blinking an eye, he goes, oh, yeah, heavy sinker, little slider. Is that great?
That's Bo. He doesn't forget a thing.
Doesn't forget a thing.
No.
Ground ball out to shortstop. And easy play. All right, so what have you been happy about today?
Just that right there. I think we played pretty solid defense, and when the ball's put in play, we picked it up, and everybody's backing up bases, and they've got their responsibilities, and they're following through with it. Jake Cave made a great play down the line to throw a runner out at second base, and Josh Harrison made a nice job staying in, putting a tag on him, and Wes Wilson with a big day offensively.
Yeah.
And a nice play in right center, and I think we played very solid. I really have.
That's some big arms in camp here, Topper.
Yeah. The Andrew Baker kid was really impressive. He really spins the ball well. It's a high velocity. It looks like he's starting to command the zone, and if he can do that, if he can power the ball through the zone, he's going to be really something.
One ball and 2 strikes to Narvaez. Toms, what was your message to the guys this spring? I mean, off a great year last year, but you've continued to say two more wins. What was your message?
Well, really, at this point, there's not many. I don't think there's a Newt Rockney speech out there that can fire a team up when they don't have a regular season game for 6 weeks.
Right.
So, it's really about health right now, and I've said all along that the first week of spring training, the first week of spring training games, and the first week of regular season games are really the time of the year that I'm really most nervous, because the intensity level goes up. Guys try to do too much at times depending on who they are, and that's where injuries occur. So we just want to make sure we get through this time healthy, and if we do that, we've accomplished something, and then we start getting guys really ready to start the season.
Topper, obviously you had some big hitters going to this World Baseball Classic. Anything in particular you're going to tell to them, to relay to them that, hey, or not change anything?
Yeah, not change anything. And I think if they come out of this thing healthy, it might be good for them. They get some real intense games and real important games early, and get their blood flowing a little bit. But injuries always on my mind, and especially for the pitchers. And if we get these guys back and they're healthy, then it's going to be a good thing.
Count is 1-1 strike to Tyler Hardman for the Yankees. Rob, you've been in this spot before where you've come off a long postseason. How much of an effect do you think that'll have, if anything? I mean, you kind of threw it now, so I guess that's all part of the health question that you talked about.
Yeah, and it's really, we've done it. I've done it or seen it done a couple of different ways. One, you really take it easy on guys, and that doesn't seem to work out. I think we're going to approach this thing like it's a normal spring training and just heavily monitor these guys on a daily basis to make sure that we're on top of it. And there's so many more things now to metrically to measure these guys and just to make sure that they're healthy, and with arm angle and extension and velocity and spin rate and all that, you can tell a lot about a guy just through those metrics.
Hey, by the way, that was impressive inning right there.
Yeah, he just looks like his grandfather.
Yeah, it does look like his grandfather. Hey, Toms, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Rob Thompson, our guest here at the top of the 8th inning. Phillies lead it 6-4. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th right after this.
The official MLB Ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage, and share your tickets with friends and family to any MLB game. It's your personal companion for when you're at the ballpark, helping you with venue info, dining options, exclusive club offers, and so much more. And it's a great way to capture your visit by adding photos and memories from a fun-filled day at the game. Download the free MLB Ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today.
Toyota Camry turning points of today's ball game. Back in the second inning, Weston Wilson introducing himself to the Phillies faithful.
He had a heck of a day. 4 RBIs. Goes up top here to put the Phillies up 2-0. Then comes through later in the ball game with another 2-run double down the left field line. That plated a couple more. That tied the game up at 4-4. Currently stands 6-4 fighting Phils.
Yeah, Richard Fitz is the new pitcher for the Yankees out of Auburn University. And facing Wendell Rijo as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Winding down our first spring training game. 1-1 strike. Fitz is listed at 6'3". From a distance, he looks larger than that, doesn't he?
Does. 6'3", 215. Looks like he's handing the ball to the catcher.
He's got a good spring training number, though, for a young kid. Number 19.
That's Aaron Boone's number. I don't think he'll.
Talking about.
That's that tour of the season. That was my number when I was in camp with the Yanks.
Really?
It was.
They didn't retire it.
My locker partners were Jorge Posada, Johnny Damon, and Jason Giambi. You talk about one of these things is not like the other.
3-2. So this is 3 balls, 2 strikes, Ben. So now he asks for time. So now the pitch timer will start up. And we talked about the umpires, how they have new equipment this year. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Popped up, shallow right center field. Cowles is out. He's called off. There's one away. So the umpires have an apparatus that they will wear either on their wrist or somewhere where they can feel it, where it buzzes. So there's a Major League Baseball representative at all ballparks that's running the pitch timer. And if it goes down to 0, they'll get a buzz. The umpires also will be able to communicate with each other this year. So they'll all have wicks where they can talk to each other if they have to. And they feel like that may speed up some of the process as well. Fly ball center field by De La Cruz, hit pretty well. It's carried toward the wall, and it's gone onto the berm. De La Cruz using all of his 6-foot 8-inch frame to carry that one out of the yard.
Talk about creating some leverage. And he knew this right off the bat. I mean, you go oppo of that batter's eye, way up on the berm like that, you know you got it. That's big boy land. A short swing for a big man.
Yeah, he did know it too. You can see by the reaction. And now Brito takes up and in, 1 ball, no strikes. A little keepsake for that gentleman out there. Up high, and now 2 balls and no strikes. Brito struck out his only time up. Line drive out to right field. Well, that's a heck of a play. That is a really nice play by Everson Pereira. And there are 2 outs.
It's a good jump on this ball and trust his instincts.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be down.
Yeah.
So now Vito Freesia. You know, I know we've talked a lot about the new rules that have been put in place. MLB has on its website different videos that the folks who are part of all of these changes have put together. They're from out in Arizona, and they walk through all of the changes. If you want to go down the rabbit hole and kind of watch it, it really does help to understand it a little bit more.
Very enlightening.
And I have to give MLB credit because they have really done their due diligence to try to make sure that all of the representatives of the game
MLB
itself,
Ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage,
managers,
and
front
share
office
your
members,
tickets
they're
with
all
friends
well
and family
aware
to any MLB
of what
game.
the changes are to make
It's
sure
your
that they get it
companion
across
for
as
when you're at
cleanly
the
as you
ballpark,
possibly can
helping you with
to the
venue
fans.
info, dining options,
Well, the right-hander
exclusive club
Cruz is
offers,
about to come
and
into
so
the
much
ballgame
more.
to try to close the door for the
And
Bills,
it's a
up
great way to
7-4
capture your
as we go
visit
to
by
the
adding
ninth.
photos and memories from a fun-filled day at the game. Download the free MLB Ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today.
It is showtime! That baby's watch this baby sail! Oh, Bryce Harper! White Sox win!
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Dear winter, 20 all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive Toyotas are ready. Toyota, let's go places. By the Xfinity 10G network, the future starts now. By Citizens, official bank of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Learn more at IBX.com. Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like, folks. That's Clearwater Beach. It is beautiful. That's why we say if you can pull it off and get down here, it would be great to see. That young man just hit a spring training home run, which I don't care what level it is. You know, he's playing in front of probably the largest crowd or one of the largest crowds that he's played in front of. And he just hit a home run to center field, just to the right of center field.
433 feet. 105 off the bat.
6'8". So the Phillies lead at 7-4. And veteran right-hander Jesus Cruz. I say veteran because he is 27 years old, out of Mexico. And first began his professional career in the Mexican leagues when he was 21 years old. Pitched for the Braves last year in 7 games. Had an ERA of 6.23. He's facing Brandon Lockridge for the Yankees. Popped it up outside of first. De La Cruz is over and to get it, but I think if he wasn't 6'8", he may not have gotten it.
There's no chance. Reckless abandon.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Now Ben Cowles, the 23-year-old former 10th round pick out of Maryland. He takes low. Cowles last year in single A, 2 different spots, hit 272 with 7 home runs. 1 ball and no strikes as Cruz is set to go. A little high. That one's deep down the left field line toward the corner. Is it fair or foul? It's foul. And it's 2-2. All right, so the pitch clock did not start, if you're wondering, until the hitter is back. And then the umpire signals.
Yep.
Because if you're wondering, all right, if he hits a foul ball and he's between first and second, does he have to rush back? To a certain extent, he'll have as much time as he needs. 4-3 on the put out there, 2 outs.
Yeah, but if you're coming back, you're out of breath. Kind of like, wait,
right?
Give me a few more seconds.
Well, that's you know, he started to move quicker, then he slowed down. So now here's Matt Pita. Former 12th round pick in 2008, 25-year-old out of VMI. Last year, 42 games, hit 183. This one skied out to left. This should do it.
And share your tickets with friends and family to any
and
MLB
it does.
game.
And the Phillies take game
It's
1 of spring training by a final score of 7-4. As Cruz finishes off what was an excellent day
so much more.
for the Phillies pitchers.
And it's a great way to cap.
I mean, really